Good morning, y'all. It's Charlene from What the Tuckers, and today we have fresh strawberries. And what are we making? We're making strawberry shortcake and we're making strawberry jam. So let's get down here to the table and get started so you can see. Alright, so what we did is we took our strawberries and we dumped them out of the container. And what we're doing is we're going to take the tops off of these, and you can either take them off like this and just pinch the tops and twist them. But then you still need to go back in here and do that. So let me show you what I'm going to do. Okay, guess we're not using the straw method. Alright, so what you need to do is you can take your spoon, you pull this little leaf back, and then you just get right in there and you pop that top off just like, yeah, that was real good, right? It went over here on the floor somewhere. I don't know where it went. Okay, oh, there it is. So anyway, we're gonna just take this and we're gonna scoop out the center of this. Now, if you take these, if you notice right here, it has little bitty seeds in it. And if you put this in, let these seeds dry out, then you can plant them in your garden and grow strawberries. So we're just going to go through all of these and we're going to take the tops off of them, just like that. It's not the prettiest thing. You can also use a little knife. Alright, y'all. Now my strawberries are getting down to where they really needed to be done. They should have been done last week. I just didn't have time. So if you get a strawberry that's like this and you cut it the top off and you see a bad spot in it, go in there and rake that bad spot out. And if it still looks bad, keep peeling away. Now, I don't count any of this as a loss, and the reason why I don't, and I only ended up with about that much strawberry, and the reason why I don't count this as a loss, because all of this I will take and stick in my food dehydrator, dehydrate it, and then shake the seeds out of it and plant them when it's time to plant strawberries again. And so that's not a loss there. So we'll get all this stuff prepped and I'll show you what we're doing next. Now, we're going to set our strawberries to the side that we're going to dehydrate. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our fresh strawberries that are still good. We're going to get us a plastic bowl or some glass bowl or whatever you prefer. And we're going to take and put about a cup of sugar into this bowl. And I'm not making a whole bunch of this for strawberry shortcakes because my husband is diabetic and we don't want him having all of that. So we're going to take and put about a half a cup of sugar in there. Just about this much. Especially, break all that little pieces up. So now it should look just enough to cover the bottom. Because we're only making enough to do 6 treats. I mean 6 little strawberry cakes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these strawberries. I'm going to get y'all where y'all can see. I'm going to take some of these strawberries that are more ripe than the other ones. And we're going to slice them in thin slices that are about that thick. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see how thick that is? Get it over here in the light for you. And we're just going to drop them in here in this mixture that we're making. Now I'm going to get another one out. And we're going to slice it the same way. Now, and just drop that in there. And I'm going to do about 12 strawberries in this little container. And I'm going to put enough in there that it looks like I've got enough. So, let me get a few more here. And you want it when you're washing your strawberries off after you cut the tops off, wash them 2 or 3 times through your colander. Like wash them and then dump them and wash them again, because you really need these to be really clean for when you start making your jam. You don't want any of those green bits in there because that's not going to taste good in your jam. And then I'm looking for the ones that are more ripe for this. And then we'll get these cut up, and then I'll show you what we're going to do, how we're going to make our jam. So once you cut all these up, you're going to take this bowl and set it in your refrigerator for a couple of hours, and what's going to happen is that sugar is going to break down and turn into a liquidy syrup once all these strawberries hit that. And so that's what we're doing here, is we're getting the strawberries prepped. But you want your strawberries thin because that helps them to soak up that sugar in there. And then once I get enough strawberries in here, I kind of toss it around and look and see, and then I'll add some few more. I don't make this dessert all the time. I only make it when strawberries come out. And you can use for your angel food cake, you can use sugar-free angel food cake, and you can use sugar-free whipped topping for it. And this looks like enough strawberries for what we need for this dessert that we're going to have tonight. My husband has a sweet tooth, so I have to try to make healthier things for him instead of making a bunch of ones. And what I do is I put the lid on there and I just kind of shake it around, turn it around, get that sugar all over those strawberries, and then let the air out. And then I'm going to take this and put it in the refrigerator until this evening, or until we get done making this jam, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, now we're going to start on our jam. So the first thing we need 4 cups of strawberries that have been mashed. I don't have a masher, so what I do, that's just another kitchen tool. I got to stir. You guys, I can't talk today. I'm going to just continue cutting these just like we did for the strawberry shortcake, and we're just going to keep putting them in here until we get this filled up to the 4-cup mark. And as soon as I get that, I'll be right back. Alright, now we have 4 cups of strawberries, and they're supposed to be mashed, so I filled it up a little bit further. Now we're supposed to have 4 cups of sugar. Now, you know I like to cut down on the sugar, so instead of doing 4 cups of sugar, we're going to see how much we have in this jar. There's 1, there's 2, and probably need more sugar. And yes, I store my sugar in my canning jars so that I don't get bugs, so that it lasts, so that it doesn't get wet. And yeah, sometimes it clumps up, but for the most part, if you put a dry pack in there with it, a dry pack, let me see if I can get it over there, and an oxygen absorber, it pretty much doesn't clump up. Now this, that's 3 cups of sugar right there. So we're not going to put any more sugar in. It calls for 4. If you like it super sweet, go ahead and put 4, but I'm not putting 4. Now we're going to get some lemon juice out, because it says we need some. So let's see how much lemon juice we're going to need. Oh, I'm trying to read this like it's going to tell me how much. We're going to just get some lemon juice like this. And we are going to need a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. So let me get my 1/4 cup measuring cup out here. And we're going to fill it up to the top. You're going to need this much lemon juice. So we're going to take our strawberries, our lemon juice, and our sugar, and we're going to put them on the stove. Okay, so here's our thermometer, and if you'll see where it says softball right there, that's how hot we need to get this. That's about 220, okay? And so we're going to stick our thermometer down here in our dish where we can watch it, and I don't know if this one's going to be long enough. I may have to get my longer one out, but I was hoping I could use this one so y'all could see. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drop our strawberries in there. I've already got the pan started heating up. Now you want to use a thick bottom pan because, and you want to use a wooden spoon. The reason why you want to use a thick bottom pan is because this will burn if you are not careful. Now we're going to take and add our sugar and our lemon juice. Okay, I've got my longer thermometer in right there. I don't think you're going to be able to see it unless I put it over there, but I want you to see what's going on in the pot as well. Now we have this on high right now, and as long as you have this on high, you want to keep stirring it because you don't want any of this to burn. You're not going to be up to your temperature right away as you watch. You'll see this will just jump up there as long as I got it down here in the pot. See, watch it jumping up there. Can you see that? No, y'all can't see that. Can you see it now? Yeah. Then watch that temperature just jump up there. But you want to keep stirring this until it comes to a rolling boil. And you're going to take and what you're looking for is this mixture to get thick. Now if you cook it too long, you'll make candy out of it. I did that one year when I was first learning how to do this. And when they say 220, they mean 220. Pull it off the stove. But see, I don't know if you can see down in there right now. Let me get this thermometer out of your way. I'm going to watch the thermometer and I'll let y'all know when it gets to 220. It's going to take a little while to get there. But if you'll watch your stuff, it'll start boiling. And see how loose this is right now? When you stir this with a metal spoon, you'll be able to dip a metal spoon in there and tell how thick it's getting by putting it in the freezer, which while this is coming up to a good boil, let me do that. Take a spoon just like this and put this in the freezer. This is how I like to test if my stuff is where it should be. Now here we are, we're starting to get a rolling boil. So we're going to turn it down, and oh my gosh, strawberries smell so good cooking. And you see, I don't know, let me get you over here where you can see inside the pot better. Let me see if I can get you in the pot, because this is important in what it looks like. Okay, so you're going to be like seeing all of this coming up at the top and bubbles and froth. But see how loose it is? You're trying to get this to thicken up, and my thermometer, we're at about 200 degrees. Now it doesn't take no time to get to 200, but what it does is it takes quite a while to get to 220. And so we're just going to take and slowly get this going there. And this is going to take a little bit of time. Now you want to make sure your thermometer is not sitting on the bottom of your pot where the heat's at. You want to make sure that it is off the bottom, because that's going to give you a false reading. Okay. And we're going to continue cooking this, and I'll be back just before it's ready. Alright, here we are. We're still cooking on it, and it has been about 10-15 minutes. We're still not at 220 yet. But I don't know if you can see this pot over here. Let me see if I can shift you that way. We have got a pot on the stove with our jars in it that we are going to put our jelly in. So we've got this heating up at the same time. Now my jars have been washed and sterilized. They're heating up in this pot while we're over here cooking the jelly in this one. $2.15. We're not quite got to 220 yet. So we're going to go ahead and test this, and I'm going to show you what you're supposed to be looking for. We're going to grab our spoon out of the freezer, and you don't want to hold it over your heat for too long. And what you're looking for is for this to begin to gel. And it's getting there, but it's not there yet. It's not a jelly, it's still too runny. And it does stay on there. Let me see if I can show you on this side. See how it's still running? It's not ready yet. And for some reason my burner just quit working. Alright, here's what we're looking like in our pot right now. And we're going to test this again to see how we're doing. And you see it's already starting to gel on the spoon, on the wooden spoon. And you want to let that sit there for a few minutes, and if it looks like it's going to gel, see how it's gelling now? Okay, so we're going to turn this off. See how we got a gel? That's what you're looking for. And man, is it good. Alright, now we've got our strawberry jam or strawberry preserves right here. We got our sanitized lids in here. We got our leaves over here, and I've got more jars over in the pot, but for now I'm going to just put 2 jars out here so you could see for video purposes. And yes, they are hot jars. And I'm going to just start taking my preserves and begin to put them into the jar. Now, because my jars are smaller, what I'm going to do is fill up to this rim right here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me look. Yeah, we're going to fill up to right here on the rim. Now what I'm trying not to get, so I have real pretty preserves, is I don't want all of that foam in there. So we're going to fill up to there and stop. That's good. And then we're going to move over to our next jar. And then we're going to take our lid, put it on, put our ring on, and then I'll show you the next step after that. Now, these jars are hot, and that stuff's hot. So if this is hot, you got to have hot jars. Okay, now I'll get the rest of my jars out here, get them filled, and then I'll show you what we're doing next. Alright, now we've used all of our strawberry jam. We've got it in our 9 jars here. Now in Florida, let me show you what we do in Florida. Let me make sure you can see. In Florida, we do not leave a canning jar undone. Okay, when I say undone, we don't leave it empty. So I'm going to wipe all of these jars off, and you can tell that it turned to jam, and yes, these jars are hot. And what we do in Florida is we take and fill our empty jars with water, so that if we have a hurricane or anything and we're left without water for some reason, then we have a fresh water source already stored up for us. So I'm going to clean these off and get all the lids on all of these and get ready to drop them back into the canner and continue on with the process. Now, if we need these jars we just empty the water out and fill them up with the product that we're going to put in them. And if we don't, then we leave them filled with water, but we don't leave a jar unempty. So let me get this done and we'll be back and go over to the next step. All right, here we are at our canner, and I've got it on high on the stove. Now, I don't know if y'all can see down in here, but I've took the jars and I filled them up, filled the water up in the canner up to the bottom line where the product line is. I don't go over the top of my jars because it causes seepage, and I learned this from Homesteading with the Zimmermans. If you haven't seen their channel, go check it out. If I remember, I'll put it in the description box below. But I'm taking and filling up the canner with water to the product line, and then I'm setting all my jars down into it. Now I'm going to let this process for 10 minutes. Once it comes to a boil, I'm going to let this process for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to remove them from the stock pot, and when I get ready to do that, I'll bring you back. Okay, over here on our canner, we have it just started rolling boiling, and so a rolling boil. So we want to let that go for 10 minutes before we do anything else. Then we're going to take them out and we're going to sit them over here on this towel after we let them rest in there, but I'll bring you back for the next step. Alright, here's what we've been working on since we've been waiting for the canner over there to boil with our preserves. And so what I've been doing is laying out all my strawberry tops that I cut off of my strawberries, and we're going to place the lid. Now mine is a Nesco food dehydrator. We're going to place it at 155, and we're going to let these dry, and then once they're dry, we're going to vacuum seal them into a jar to save the seeds for planting season. So we'll be back when the canning jars are ready to go. All right, our timer has just gone off for our jam or our preserves that we're making. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn this off, and we're going to take the lid off of this, and we're going to let this sit here and rest. Now notice when this is steaming, or got steam coming out of it. So when you take that lid off, take it off where it's facing away from you, and then put it over here. And I can already start to hear these jars popping and sealing in here. So what we're going to do is let this sit and rest in the pot for 10 minutes, and there went another one. All right, here we are. We've got our canning jars sitting out, and let me see if I can get you closer because I want to show you a mistake that I did. So here we are looking at our jars. Now you see how these jars have like a cloudy look on the outside of them, and the tops do too. You know what I forgot to do? You need to add vinegar in your water when you get ready to do this, and that keeps all of this white haze off of your jars and your lids. Now, fortunate for us, these are only going to be for me and my husband this time, and so I'm not too worried about it. But I always do this at the beginning of canning season. I forget to put the vinegar in, and when I do and I take them out, I was like, oh man, that's what I forgot. So anyway, we're going to let these sit for 24 hours. Now all of these, the lids have already popped on them, so we just don't want to disturb them for 24 hours. So I'm going to take this, move it to, I've got them on a pan. I'm going to take it and move it to my dining room table because I don't have enough kitchen space. And we're getting ready to process some pineapples. Here we are with our pineapple out of the canner. It sat in the canner for 15 minutes at a rolling boil. Then we put it in, turned it off, and let it sit there for another 10 minutes to rest. We still have a few that need to pop. And over here we have our canned water, and our canned strawberry jam, and all the tops have popped. And here's our strawberry jam and what it looks like. All right, I did a short on showing how to fix this. I forgot to add the vinegar, and look at the haze that's on my jars. So if you don't ever watch all my videos, at least go watch the shorts, because the shorts are going to show you some things that sometimes the videos don't happen, or I don't say in the videos. But in this, I show you, if you forget the vinegar, you got that haze on your jars. So this is what you need to do. If you've got that haze, you're going to go grab your, hold on, there it is, the white vinegar. And you're going to take and put some on a rag and wipe your jars down, and it will make them turn back pretty like these jars are all over again. And then you can put them away. Now that's a pretty jar of jam there. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope to see you real soon. Give us those 2 thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you real soon here at What the Tuckers.